In a bid to combat resurgence of suicide bomb attacks in Borno State, the Nigerian Army and Police say they're putting security measures in place through massive patrols and intelligence gathering. Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 15, Abdul Umar, disclosed this to newsmen in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Senior reporter Jesse Tafida has details.
The Goza suicide bomb attacks, which claimed lives of 32 persons in Borno, has generated fear amongst residents. With relative peace recently being enjoyed, the incident raises eyebrows on security issues in the state.
We want to use this.
But the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 15, Abdul Umar, wants residents to be calm. He disclosed that security operatives in the state have taken bold steps to work closely with the aim of sustaining the relative peace.
We have deliberated on this issue and we came up with modalities which are strictly security based, but everything has to do with intelligence. We are going to work on our intelligence network and ensure that we remain proactive. The state government indeed is in the forefront of the general support of the military and the police. We really appreciate the effort of the Borno State government. Successive leadership of the government has proven their willingness to ensure there is safety in Borno State.
While delivering his retirement speech, the outgoing AIG assured residents of the police commitment in the fight against insurgency.
I'm retiring here in peace, so it's a very big achievement, and this is what I would have loved to have continued if I were given opportunity, because I want the nation to have peace, so that activities will continue to strive. Human lives will be safeguarded. Almost 80-something to 90% of the issues have been solved. I can say it is during my time.
It is hoped that by taking this action, security personnel in the state will be able to maintain the relative peace that residents enjoy. Jesse Tafida, TVC News, Maiduguri.
Joining me now is a former captain of the U.S. Army, Bish Johnson, for more on the Goza attack. Mr. Johnson, thank you for joining us this hour. The fear is palpable. Coordinated attack at a wedding, a funeral, and I think one other place. Do you agree with the military when they say this is an isolated incident and it's as a result of the pressure being put on the terrorists by military personnel, or you think the attackers are saying we have the capacity to strike?
Well, good afternoon and thank you for having me. First and foremost, let me extend my heartfelt condolences to the families of those who have been impacted in this cowardly act. Yeah, it could be an isolated incident if it doesn't happen again, right? That's why I have always said, look, even as much as, because the government is required to reassure the people to be able to go about their normal lives and not create panic, because when you do that, the terrorists would have won, because that's what they want. They want to create panic. They want to discredit the government. They want to show that they are able to reach the people and harm them at any time that the government has no control over them. That's what they want to achieve. So if you don't reassure the people and calm the nerves in the area as a government, you have pretty much played into the hands of the terrorists. So the government is required to say that is this an isolated incident. That is good. However, our security agencies must behind the scene be working assiduously day and night to ensure that there is no repeat of similar incident. Because if such an incident would have happened again, the assurance of the government would have been made nonsensical. Okay, so next time something like that happens again and the government comes out and say, look, it's an isolated episode, the people would have read in between the line and they will not be able to believe the government, because by then the government has lost its credibility before the people. So yes, it could be an isolated incident. No doubt, they have, our armed forces and security agencies have been able to degrade the capability of terrorists in Borno State in particular. However, what it takes for terrorists to succeed is just one incident like that. Once there's a successful incident of that nature, they would have succeeded. But it requires our security agencies to prevent them from carrying out such attack 100% of the time. There cannot even be 0.001 mistake for our security agencies to be successful. Because one small incident makes nonsensical of every other effort and measures that the government and security agencies had already put in place or had already taken.
Intelligence is key in circumstances of this nature, and that's what we're also hearing from the military, that they're ramping up to improve security in that area. But talk to us about precise measures that must be explored now when we are considering enhancing security at public gatherings.
Well, first and foremost, you just mentioned about intelligence being the key. Intelligence is always the key. There is no military operation that is driven without intelligence. You have to seek intelligence, make sure you have enough intelligence to be able to preempt. The key word here now is preempt. We have to preempt these terrorists, get them, at the planning stage before they are able to execute. If you can get them at the planning stage before they are able to execute, you would have succeeded. Now, trying to react or respond after they had executed and caused damage or harm is a failure. Now, it's a very difficult situation. You are dealing with people that you don't know. That could be anyone who is embedded in the community. And so it's very imperative that the security agencies are also working with the local people, because some of them may have, vital information that they can provide to security agencies that will enable them to be able to thwart any kind of threat or risk to lives of citizens in any particular place. Now, as far as protecting large gatherings like that, to protect large gatherings like that, you also have to gather intelligence, first and foremost. Secondly, there has to be enough physical presence of security operatives, and they must make sure they put in place serious and stringent screening methods for all those who will be participating in such large gatherings, to make sure that nobody sneaks past them and causes harm to the people. Because the modus operandi of terrorists is to cause a lot of harm with very minimal resources. And it's in places of those mass gatherings that they usually target, because that is where they will, get maximum effect for the little resources that they put in.
Former U.S. Captain of U.S. Army, Bish Johnson, thank you so much for talking to us. Let's turn our attention now.
Thank you very much for having me.